Risen Savior missionary team travels from the main island to another Philippine island called Mindoro. We will spend 4 days on Mindoro. This morning, our first stop is the public hospital in Calapan. Jerry is planning a future medical mission and wants to see the facilities.
6 months.
He also wants to determine how severe the level of malnutrition is in the area. The hospital administrator takes us on a tour. We discover bad news as we are walking through the wards. Jerry comforts this poor woman, only moments after her baby has died.
So sorry. It's so bad.
This is the infectious ward, including those patients with tuberculosis.
Yung mga kaibigan natin misyonaryo.
Next door is the Munyan Children's Ward. The Munyan are the Indigenous People of the Philippines and are referred to as the IP. This IP child is 12 to 14 months old and weighs only 3 kilos, or 6.5 pounds. The malnutrition is so severe that the doctor gives the child a 50-50 chance of survival. The malnutrition of a child starts in the womb of its mother. A starving mother results in a baby being born with a severe case of malnutrition. It will also result in many other future medical problems. This is why Risen Savior also feeds pregnant and lactating mothers as part of the feeding program. The IP parents cannot afford medical care. Most of the IP children that die never make it down from the mountains to get medical care. Later in our daily adventures, we journey across a river to see an IP Munyan village. Bamboo rafts and wood dugouts are provided for our crossing. The Munyan are similar to the Native American Indians, as they were the first settlers of the Philippines. The IP women are digging in the gravel searching for white and blue colored stones. They sell these stones as tiles for construction. The women will fill an 80-pound bag and then sell it for 75 pesos, which is about $1.80. The village is up on top of the hill. Out of breath from the climb up the hill, Jerry explains why there are 4 armed police officers traveling with us.
NPA in this area, New People's Army, which are anti-Philippine government. And they like to take missionaries as hostages and sell them for a ransom, 1 million pesos.
Thanks for telling me that now, Jerry.
I didn't want to tell you more about it.
We tour the school and meet the children on the feeding program.
Left and the right. I have 2 hands, the left and the right. Hold
Only the youngest are on the feeding program along with the pregnant and lactating mothers.
me, 1, 2, 3.
These children have been on the feeding program for 1 year and now look healthy. The Manapak rice has temporarily stopped, however, because of a lack of funding. The village chief is requesting that the feeding program please continue through Risen Savior missions. We are treated as special guests and served fresh coconut water. It is a refreshing treat. The indigenous people live very simple lives. This is a bed on my left. The IP are one of the highest priorities for the rural feeding programs. Their income is even lower than those living in the garbage dump. Basic hygiene such as hand washing and brushing teeth is always taught. Giving a child the proper nutrition from prenatal to age 8 is critical for proper brain development. Here is a picture of a healthy brain compared to a malnourished brain. An air pocket exists in the underdeveloped brain. If a child does not get the proper nutrition, they will be mentally handicapped for life. This malnourished girl is only 3 feet tall, but she's 13 years old. This malnourished child was born this way because the mother was malnourished. Sister Mary Vick is Risen Savior's program director for the 215 feeding sites on the island of Marinduque. Sister Mary Vick notices one of the 40 natural herbs that can be used as a nutritional supplement.
We name it like miagos, that is good for urinary tract infection.
In other locations, herbal livelihood projects in conjunction with the feeding program have greatly enhanced the economy of the local village. It is hoped that in helping a generation of children to become healthy, it will in turn provide good future leaders to break this cycle of poverty and malnutrition. The next day, we travel to another IP village. This unique longhouse is used as a dinner table for our feeding site. The Matapac rice provided by Risen Savior Missions is prepared over an open fire. The children are ready to eat. But first, they are led in prayer. Everyone is very appreciative of the food. The kids are gaining weight and regaining their strength and health. Still, there are those that are not yet doing well. This boy is thin in the face and shoulders. His hair color is an indicator of malnutrition. It shows the lack of protein in his diet. Before a feeding program begins, all the children are weighed and dewormed first. Teaching personal hygiene is a high priority. This young girl has a large growth on her back. More lay missionaries are needed to bring the love of Jesus to these poor children.